Hey, Joe, let's hit that music button again.
That sounds like a Martian movie.
Hey, guys, welcome to the show before the show. Hopefully everybody's doing well today. Thanks for coming into the show. What you got going on, Lizzie?
You know, it was all good. Couldn't sit in my yard over the weekend, though, because I had an infestation of little critters.
Yeah.
But all good.
Mm-hmm.
Did we see the Trump interview last night? Chris wants to know.
Which one?
Yeah, I was going to say the same. Which one? Oh, up on Tim Pool, so you can go back and watch.
Yeah, we're going to show a clip of it.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the entire interview.
Yeah, he was just, as I want to recall, like the last half of it, I think.
Hope everybody had a good weekend. We're ready to get things going again here. Cancel the show.com. I see your fingers going 100 miles an hour, Lizzie. I was like, how can you type so fast?
I just try to go on every platform, make sure that they're all fine.
You're amazing.
Talk to people who are already there.
Share the show. Good morning to people who are jumping into the show. We are grateful for that.
Good morning.
Did
Cancel
somebody
this
say-
heathen, Anthony says.
That sounds like Anthony.
Uh-huh.
Guilty of what exactly? What does Megan mean by that? Was that from today?
I don't see that one. So that must have been from the ones, unless it's
Interesting.
slow.
Not sure.
I'm not sure either.
But we appreciate you guys being here. It is a Tuesday, May 28th.
It feels like a Monday.
Mm. It does. It doesn't feel like a Monday. It actually does feel like a Tuesday to me.
You think it does feel like it?
Yeah, it does. Oh, there you go. Trisha says Lizzie is amazing. Listening and commenting live and online at the same time every day. Yes, she deserves a lot.
Thank you, Trisha.
Megan says, hello, Megan. Good morning. I just read the beginning of June for Missouri. The cicadas are exiting.
I hope that's true. I hope that's true. I heard the
Where
4th
is that?
of July. I heard that they were leaving the 4th of July. So I hope she's right.
Oh, no, but let me tell you something. There is nobody who dislikes cicadas more than Megan.
I don't know. I'm right there with her.
No.
I'm right there with
Nobody more than my Megan Livingstone. No. No, the Megan Courtney. No.
I'm with her.
I mean, if they even come near, she's screaming.
I can relate to that. They're just gross. And I said to God last night, me and God had a conversation. And I said, God, please tell me the purpose of cicadas. Please tell me the purpose.
Even the faces of them are disgusting.
They really are. And they got this face and these big bug eyes. And I know they don't hurt us, supposedly, or anything like that. And supposedly you can eat them. And I know a lot of people's dogs have ingested them.
Oh, yeah. Ben's
and
dogs ate them.
Sick.
One of them.
Yeah.
See, I was talking to God last night and I said, God, how could you make such a disgustingly ugly creature?
Yeah, I said that to God
call
last
it your
night.
own.
That's right. I was like, maybe this is Satan's.
And then you remember Democrats.
That's what God told me. God told me that is a Democrat bug. Those are the bugs for the Democrats.
Well,
Satan gave them to the Democrats.
Well, I have a friend who calls all of his ex-girlfriends cicadas.
Well, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
He's like, no, I can't go to that place because there's a bunch of cicadas flying around over there.
Yeah, I can understand that. So now we figured out our conversation with God. Now we know what happened.
Fear the cicada.
Satan's bugs. And they can make you deaf.
Liberal larvae.
Oh, I love that. Liberal larvae.
Megan also says, no way, you guys. St. Louis County is way worse than St. Charles County. She said she's told her boss she's leaving. She's going to be working at home until they leave.
Well, and there is some parts. I think that like the Chesterfield area, I know people who live around here, is worse than we are. But then I've got some friends that live closer to the city and they can't hardly hear them.
Oh, that's a low blow. Anthony says, even the cicadas won't come to North County.
Yeah, apparently they're not in North County.
Are you serious?
That's what people are telling me. Like if you're in Illinois, they don't have them much. If you're in the city of St. Louis, North County.
It's all that radiation.
Yeah, it's all in the water in North County. I love to sit outside, and I couldn't even do it this weekend.
But they don't hurt you. That's why
they don't. They really don't hurt you.
Anthony says, yeah, there aren't cicadas in North County.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard several people say that, and they don't hurt you if they're just sitting there and they hit you.
Maybe they don't like loud noises.
Yeah, my house is loud.
Nobody move. Nobody get hurt.
Yeah, Kevin's like, what a mess when they hit your windshield. Oh, I know. You know, my daughter, she went to the Indianapolis 500 this weekend, and she said in that area, and she stayed at a friend's house, there were no cicadas at all. And she said she was driving through Indiana, not hardly, driving through Illinois, not hardly, but then when she hit Missouri, they were just splatting all over her car.
That's such a wonderful state.
Donna says they're bad in Jeffco.
All right, fun stuff. Let's see here. Let me check another. Check. So they're only here.
I think they're here. I hear they're here really bad.
Oh my!
I think
God.
they're in Tennessee really bad, but that's the only two places I've heard that they're really
splatter
bad.
On your car.
Oh yeah, all over.
Good morning, Peter. Pam.
Yep.
Anthony says, I drove through West County last Monday to sign divorce papers. And on 270 with the window up, radio up, I could still hear them loudly.
That's right. West County has them bad.
Oh, you know what?
St. Charles County.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
went down to the lake in the weekend with Megan, and
There was no cicadas?
there was no cicadas in the Ozarks.
See, isn't that weird?
None.
We were in Jeff City, or I wasn't.
None.
My husband and daughter were in Jeff City, and they were inundated with them.
Then
So isn't
how
that
it-
fun?
I got to ask this question then. Then how is this biblical? Everybody says
This is
that
not biblical.
But not everybody.
This-
I've only heard a few people say that.
This can't be biblical because hardly no one else has them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is biblical from Missouri.
Yeah.
Peter said, I've seen a few here at the lake. Yeah, maybe, but think we might have seen one or two.
Yeah. Well, you would normally see one or two anyway, I would think. It's just the loud, deafening noise. Yeah, Benny says, what a crazy year. Eclipse, northern lights, cicadas, and tornadoes. Yeah, how about those tornadoes? And Jay says cicadas are not locust, people.
And I don't
Exactly.
know. I don't know how this started or whatever, but somebody's saying that the cicadas are following the path of the eclipse.
That might be.
That could be true.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I could see that. There must be a reason they're in some places and not in others. I mean, and this area was crazy. There was hail, tornadoes in Oakville. There was a tornado that touched down in Oakville, which is South County for people who don't know that. This area was just full of weirdness.
I have never seen hail the size of hail that I saw at the lake over the weekend.
Really?
Insane. Yeah, chunks. Not golf ball size, but chunks.
Big chunks.
Yeah, it was blew my mind. And then at the same point in time, St. Louis was getting hit too.
Yeah.
Or it was on the way.
We got dime size, which was like the biggest that we
Yeah.
got.
Hey, by the way, friend of the show as well. We were going to have Andrew Bailey on today. We'll get to that in a second. You know what? It's 8:03. Yeah, let's go ahead and start the show. We'll get things rocking and rolling, all right? It is May 28th, the day after Memorial Day. Happy the day after Memorial Day. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house. Love you guys. Thanks for jumping in. As always, thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. We're ready to get rocking and rolling after a longer extended weekend. News headlines, water cooler talk, politics, interviews from all across the country, cancel culture education. We do it all. Happy day. Renee says, good morning from Oregon. Hope everyone is safe. Looks like you guys had a rough weather weekend. We did, especially with the cicadas, as we were talking about as well. Love seeing everything that was going on. Donna says, by the way, we were the only house on the block flying an American flag. You know what? I'm going to make sure I do something like that next year.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think about that. So thank you.
Yeah, so you left and didn't put it up. People go on vacation, so then they don't leave their flag up. And, you know, I didn't see as many this year as I normally do either. I was kind of surprised. Ours is up. Our American flag is on a pole the size of our house. But other than that, there was like, I don't know.
So you're saying Dave has a big pole?
Yeah, Dave's got a big pole.
Okay, that's good. You can fly a flag off of it.
That's
I love
right.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Big
He's
poles
got a
are
big
good
old
thing.
pole.
We're ready to rock and roll as we normally do. Thank you for jumping in on all of our platforms where you can watch us on X, on Rumble, on Facebook, on CloudHub, and on YouTube. And of course, you can catch our audio every day at Spotify, Google, Apple, and others as well. Jay says, yes, I was the only house on my block as well. People saying, yeah, our house is the only one on the block. Yeah, Peter says that's what she said. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Gary, we don't need to know about your pole going up every day. But thank you.
He didn't call his pole. He said his flag.
His pole.
His flag. Gary's pole goes up every day.
I'm just messing around.
Come on. Gary's pole.
But Anthony says he has a long pole, but it's thin. And he says it's how you use your flag your pole to fly your flag.
That's exactly.
No-
Don't
no
flag
shame.
pole shame.
No shame
Don't-
in that.
Yeah, don't shame on.
I know somebody else who has a thin pole,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also short.
Who's that? Who's that? I don't know. I see
Anyway.
some squatty poles, but at least if you put your flag on your pole, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, just whatever kind of size pole you
It's all
got.
about the stars and the stripes.
That's right. Put the stars and stripe on your pole, and then you're fine.
Yes, that's where we go, baby. It is
Mhm.
Cancel This. It is Monday, the 28th. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. Let people know what we're up to today. Yeah, Karen says her flag is up every day. Thank God for you.
Yeah.
And happy Memorial Day. I thought this was very interesting because you said yesterday to me how important Memorial Day is. And you brought that up to me. And I thought that was very, very interesting, Lizzie.
It is, because so many people lump all of the holidays together. But this is actually very special. It's not Veterans Day. It's not Armed Forces Day. You are supposed to celebrate the people that died, are fallen, and they gave up their life for our country. So it's different. Most veterans don't want you to come up and say to them, thank you for your service that day. That one day. Say it any other day, 364 days. But that one day, just give it to the people who are no longer here.
Well, it hit me a little harder yesterday. I've always thought about how interesting it is, but Megan was telling me her brother serves in the Navy,
Mm-hmm.
active service, just got a promotion as well. It's his and his friends and fellow service members. It's their favorite holiday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, think about that. I mean, it gave me chills when I started to think about, we take so many things for granted, but that's even another thing. Not everybody.
Right.
I mean,
actually
Marines.
love
I
it.
said Navy. Marines, forgive me. Duh. Based in San Diego.
And my son-in-law spends the whole
Oh, yeah, he's a
day-
major. That's a big deal.
Oh, that is great. Congratulations. That is a big deal.
Yeah.
But I know my son-in-law, he's a
Clayton-
veteran. What's his name?
Major Clayton Arnett.
Very nice.
Arno.
Arno.
And, it's a big deal, especially because, I don't know how many of us really are really, really, really thinking about Memorial Day and all of the sacrifices and what has happened in the past. And you don't want to forget them. You were going to tell a story, Lizzie?
Oh, no, just that like my son-in-law and a lot of people that are veterans, they spend the entire day going to memorials because it's that important to them. I don't know if it's his favorite holiday, but I know he sure respects that holiday.
Gosh, it does. And you should never, ever forget, especially because of how good we have it here.
That's right. We do. Even as bad as I think this country has gotten compared to when I grew up, it's still better than anywhere else with our freedoms. And we need to at least keep what we still have. You can't go anywhere else where we're more free, still to this day.
Well, the other thing that really got me yesterday, and I know that they're part of, there's, once again, we know what's going to happen and we know what should happen. What should happen is that U.S. Representatives Ilhan Omar and Cori Bush should lose their positions.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
I mean, they're elected by people in their area
that hate America. They really do. I don't understand people who get a position in our government that, I get that people have their own way of wanting to do things, but they hate our country.
And case in point, I don't know if you saw this or not. Did you see this? They posted messages on X yesterday and they got Memorial Day and Veterans Day mixed up.
They did. It was so embarrassing.
Yeah, and then they quickly deleted the messages once they were told.
Because they don't know the difference. They don't. A lot of people don't. But if you are in their position, you better know the difference. But they don't.
Here you go. Quote, on Memorial Day, we honor the heroic men and women who served our country. That was from Omar. According to multiple screenshots that post was taken down. She says, quote, we owe them more than our gratitude. They have more than earned access to quality they have currently earned. This is as if they're alive. They have earned access to quality mental health services, job opportunities, housing assistances. I guess they got that confused with the BLM speech.
I'm guessing they did
or
BLM. That's
or the DEI speech and benefits that they were promised.
Yeah, well, I agree.
Omar,
with that on any other day, but that day, that's the one day you don't.
Oh, and then here's St. Louis's own Cori Bush.
Oh, God love her.
This Memorial Day and every day, we honor our veterans in St. Louis.
This is not Veterans Day.
It's sad, but it's funny. It's funny, but it's sad.
Bless her little heart.
We must invest in, here you go, universal health care, affordable housing, comprehensive mental health services, and educational and economic opportunities for our veterans as we work to build a world free of war and violence. Yeah, that would be great, but that has nothing to do with Veterans Day or Memorial Day. Give us a break. That's your DEI speech. And yesterday was, guess what? Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And of course, social media was quick to point them out and the mistakes that they made. So they blocked their tweets. They got them out, and people hammered them as they should have.
Yes.
But don't try to be something that you're not. Don't try to act like you're something that you're not. You're not about America. You're not about men and women in the military. You're not.
No. And like Jay says, coming from the American hating squad, it's empty words and pandering anyway.
Cori Bush deleted it and then put Memorial Days for honoring those who have died while serving in the U.S. military.
Well done, dumbass.
Yeah. Somebody else put Veterans Day, which is in November, is for honoring everyone who has served in the U.S. military and is largely intended to thank living veterans, not ones who have died serving the country. So Bush posted her revised message. This Memorial Day, we honor those who served and lost their lives for our country. And we hold in our hearts the loved ones they've left behind. We must continue to push and protect our service members while working to build a world free of war and violence. Gee, thanks. It's just an embarrassing look again. But there's so much embarrassment that comes from Cori Bush. I don't think people even care. They expect it. When the bar is so low, this is what happens. The same thing with Joe Biden.
And it shows you don't have to have any intelligence at all to get elected.
No, you don't. But that's the world of politics. And we've talked about that so many times with politics and how it works. And, you know, I mean, it's a popularity contest. And I always take this back to a history professor of mine. We were about a week into class and it was my freshman year and it blew my mind. And he's like, I'm going to give you the best advice that you're going to get for the rest of your life. And it's not about what you're learning in these classrooms over the next 4 or 5. And then he said, some of you 6, 7, 8 years. And of course, everybody laughed. He said, here's what I want you to do. Go home, start looking in a mirror and smiling at yourself. Practice on your smile. Practice on your introduction to people. Hi, I'm Vic. Hi, I'm Joe. Hi, I'm Lizzie. And start practicing. Look in that damn mirror. He's like, because I'm telling you right now, people will judge you more on what you look like and sound like and the perception you give off than all of the education that you have inside your brain until it gets to the point where you need to have that.
Correct.
So politics is a lot. Hey, I love you. I'm standing up for you. That's what it is. It's a popularity contest. What you look like, what you sound like.
Yeah.
I tell you, I love you all. I feel your pain. Oh, I love you all.
I've been missing
especially you females. I mean, there was never a president more ever who was terrific at just saying the right things and smiling and
he was good at it.
Yeah, you got it. Anyway, so yeah, that's what happens over and over and over again. Somebody says Wesley Bell should be dominating her because of everything that she has done.
That's right.
And the reason we bring it up is because of Memorial Day.
He just needs to be quiet and not say anything. And that's campaigning enough, is that he's just quiet, going to his little rah-rah sessions, you know, with whatever. And he just needs to let her campaign and he'll win.
Does that upset you when you see something like that? Or is it because we've had so much of that, it doesn't matter?
That he's being quiet?
No. But what Omar.
Oh, that infuriates me.
It does.
That infuriates me that people can be elected. When they were elected and I found out that she was, you know, married to her brother to get over here, number one, that really pissed me off. And then she doesn't say anything encouraging about America at all. And I think that was, I knew the beginning of what was coming to America, because people are getting elected that don't even like this country. They like a certain sect of the country that are not American lovers. They just want what they can get from our country, not what they can do for our country. And so, yeah, I think most people I know are very infuriated about it.
It doesn't take much to get elected. Kevin says they should have to pass a history test just to run for any political office.
Amen.
Well, I brought that up before too. The people who actually come into this country and do the citizenship test, it'll blow your mind, because I guarantee that most of us who are on this show or listen to this show would have some issues without studying for that test.
That's probably true.
I went in. Oh, I covered 2 or 3 of those. One in Detroit, 2 in St. Louis, where citizens becoming and how much they love this country and they fight for it, which is another reason why what's happening at the border is so bad, and which is why Democrats are for pushing across the border, because they don't care, because you have no love of country. Zero. Wherever you came from is what you will identify with.
That's right.
And when you go to these citizenship ceremonies and you see what they've gone through, holy crap, it's amazing. That's why America was so great. That's why we're not as great anymore, because we don't have that love of country anymore. But we bring all of that up when it comes to Memorial Day yesterday. And you know what? I know it's the one day, but we always try to thank police and we try to thank military members and families, because they're sacrificing all the time. And we know the problems that are happening right now currently with our country when it comes to the military. Anyway, this is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house. Glad everybody's with us today. The Trump trial gets underway today, closing arguments. Tomorrow, we're going to have a good friend of the show, Scott Rosenblum, on, arguably one of the best defense attorneys in America. Love Scott. He'll come in to, it's been a while since we've had him on the show. It'll be good to get his perspective of what's happening. By the way, he has broke down Donald Trump before, and we'll talk about it more. He's told us he's not a Trump fan. He's a Democrat, but he thinks Biden's an absolute imbecile. So he's one of those guys that will have difficulty when they go into a booth on who to vote for and who to decide. So he will break down that trial. And I think he talked about it being before, how it was just a really, really bad look for Democrats. And it continues to get that way because Judge Merchan continues to not let things happen. They could go to jury today. They could, which would be interesting. And guess what? There's still no evidence. And all it takes is one jury or member for a hung jury. That's all it takes. But I still don't think there's any way. I don't think any of this stuff is going on because there's not going to be some sort of convention. And then over the weekend, what did we hear? I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Joe Biden's team has announced that as soon as the, quote, verdict is in, isn't this interesting? Biden and his campaign, we have nothing to do with what's going on with the Trump. This is an election interference. What happens? They announce, they are so effing dumb, or they just don't care. And they're just like, screw you, American people. We own you. We own the media. We're going to do whatever we want. We're going to try to take this election again. They have announced that as soon as the verdict comes in, Joe Biden is going to do a national press conference. I repeat,
so excited about that.
I repeat, Joe Biden is going to do a national press conference on the heels of a verdict.
That is ridiculous.
Is there any way in hell he would be doing a national press conference if Donald Trump was coming back innocent?
No. They're prepared for him to come back guilty, and they're setting it all up. I can't imagine he's not guilty of something. I know that they won't put him in jail, or I'm thinking they wouldn't put him in jail. I think they'll do whatever they can up to putting him in jail, because they know the minute he goes to jail, the election's over. He will win even more than we think he's going to win. But he's going to be guilty of something. They're going to be sure of that. And I hope I'm wrong. But a press conference? Why would you have a press conference if you thought he was innocent? You wouldn't. Unless they're going to.
And why do a press conference at all unless you're trying to use it against Donald Trump?
Correct. Or maybe if he does come up innocent, it's just to make some sort of a statement. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's ridiculous. But if you ever thought it wasn't, bipartisan before, it is. They just want to. It's like the leftist loon Mark Kaysen and other people that are like, they've been saying since 2015, even before he even got elected, he's guilty. He's going to go to jail. He's going to go to jail. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You want something to happen, you can make it happen, but it doesn't mean it's right. Yeah,
Megan will be in for me on Thursday and Friday. She says, let's see if he does one for Hunter Biden.
He's not going to do one for Hunter.
Exactly.
For his son.
Great point.
Awesome
point.
Of course he's not.
Paul says, Vic, this is only the beginning for the next 6 months. they have 5 or 6 things waiting in the wings to implement leading into the election to try to sway voters. Yes.
100%.
Well, yeah, and that's what this show has been about, talking about the truth with what's happening with the election and
That's
the border.
right.
And not only that, but if and when Donald wins, and I'm becoming more and more convinced that if there is an election, there is absolutely no way to steal it. I'm starting to believe that.
That's right.
And because it'll just be too overwhelming to
That's right.
overcome, that then it continues on, because we've already shown you one thing that the media is not covering anymore. We looked at it, we brought it up through our research, but Congress is changing quickly. I think it was 14 Republicans quitting as the election comes, all of a sudden, to give all of these spots a chance to be won by Democrats.
That's right.
Where a Republican could not be seated before then, to make sure that anything and everything would be standing against Donald Trump if and when he did have a presidency, so that he didn't have the House and he didn't have the Senate to use, at his disposal, or at least make it as difficult as possible. These are real things that are happening, people. We're just bringing up what's going on. Robert says, then, of course, what Lizzie likes to talk about.
That he's going to unalive
The
him.
only other thing after that is to unalive.
I truly believe that. I agree with you, Vic, that I think that there's no way to steal the election now. I really don't, other than the illegals. But I think there's so many people that are going to vote that they can't steal. They actually were trying to steal it in 2016, and that's why Hillary Clinton was shocked. I do believe there was election interference in 2020. The result is, I think it was stolen, but nobody will come out and say that other than speculation. But then we know in 2024, there's no way to steal. So I do believe you will see this summer, that, or right up to November, that there will be an unalive attempt.
I'm not going there, but we all have our opinions.
Yeah, I do think that'll happen. And how would we know? They're not going to cover that. Even if they do try to unalive him and he's not unalived, who's going to cover that? No one. No one but somebody like us.
What do you mean? No, that would be huge. That would be.
I don't know. I don't know.
Here's what's happening with this Biden situation. He plans to address the nation from the White House, or wherever he calls the White House. He has his fake set, and we know what happens there. Literally addressing the nation after his political opponent, who is kicking his ass in every single poll all over the country. He's going to do this, and reports say that he's going to tailor the speech to whatever the decision is. Oh yeah, he can tailor it really fast, because we know he learns things on the go really quick, and he's really good with information, as if this verdict is going to be such a shock and surprise. But he's also going to stress the American legal system works. Really. So if and when Donald Trump is found innocent, Biden is going to go out there and say this was a fair verdict? Hell freaking no. And that people must respect the verdict, no matter what the outcome is. Joe. Hello, Joe. Joe, are you there? Most of America wants the verdict to be innocent. They've already said, by an overwhelming, almost 70% of Americans say this is political interference.
That's right. They do.
We must respect the verdict, whatever it is, as if he's going to be found innocent. It's all a plan. It's been a shyster plan from the get-go. We already know.
Shyster plan.
By the way, this all news comes from Politico. From Politico. I mean, guys, I saw that. I had to read that twice on Saturday. I'm like, what? What? Biden is going to do a national presser after the verdict? And whatever the verdict is, we must respect it and love it.
And I hope they do love it. I hope he is innocent. And then Joe Biden is sitting up there just choking on the bile of the fact that he's innocent. That would be a great day.
Well, I don't know what they get out of that.
I don't know that they'll do it then. Do you? I mean, I don't know. And he's not writing the speech anyway. So some speech writer that Jake Tapper or Obama has up. And if they are really going to do it, they have 2 speeches ready to go. And if there is a guilty verdict, Joe Biden's going to be up there so mad, and he's just going to say, see, I told you, and all that kind of stuff. And then if he's innocent, it's going to be relatively short and just say, we've got to find another way to stop Donald Trump. But that's what they're going to say. That's the two outcomes. And the speeches are already going to be written by somebody else other than him. He's not doing it. And he will be so Adderalled up.
Just the whole thing is so bad. They know the verdict already. That's my point.
They do already know.
He would not come out and say this.
Mm-hmm.
His team would not come out and say, we're going to do this. Whatever the verdict is, take it.
Correct. Of course.
Expect and promote Donald Trump.
And they've not been sequestered.
Merchan, the judge, who is one of the biggest jokes of a judge in the history of this country, and what he has allowed and what he hasn't allowed in that courtroom is insane.
That's right.
And there's not a Democrat alive with any half-brain mentality that thinks that it's right, just, fair, legal, anything of the nature.
Right. And they don't, but they like it. A lot of the Democrats like it because they want to stop them at any cost whatsoever. And you know what? I can't think of all this weekend. This is a case against a former president, and they weren't sequestered, and they weren't
for a week.
Right. They weren't. And then all weekend long, they didn't even get the, like any instructions like they were supposed to have before the weekend. And now they're coming back in today. And what are they going to do? Now, don't look at your social media. Don't look at anything. Stay in your bubble. That would be hard to do. Even if you really didn't want to look at something, you're going to look at your phone. You are going to look at your phone and see something on there. So these people, already have a biased frame of mind and were never put in a room by themselves ever this whole time.
From Jay, a president who has claimed he has nothing to do with these trials, has nothing to do with what's going on with Donald Trump, all of a sudden says, oh yeah, we're going to have a national presser after the verdict is released to let Americans know the legal system works, to let them know that we should respect the verdict, whatever it is.
They wouldn't be saying that if they
okay, everything's on the straight and narrow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. And we appreciate you guys jumping in on our People's platform. Tons of comments, hundreds of comments all throughout the day when we're here live Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, and also after. That's just during the time when we're live. Trish says, I read that Obama probably went to Columbia University in Russia, not Columbia University in the United States, since no one ever saw him at the one in the United States. That's a whole nother issue.
And that is a whole
It is interesting how somebody can go to a college and, oh, yeah, I was never seen there, but I went there.
But I went there. Well, and they saw pictures of him wherever he was at, whether it was Russia or the United States, with his boyfriend Michael.
Oh, Megan says the Democratic nutballs that volunteer at polling will do anything to make Biden win, and they don't care about consequences. It's
because
possible.
They don't get consequences.
Well, it did come out over the weekend too. Georgia has now admitted as well that many counties had people who were deceased voting. Again, once again, that came out in Georgia. It always comes out eventually. The truth will come out at some point in time.
Yeah.
No matter what you try to do, somehow, some way. In politics, it gets pushed back.
Well, you know what? And Joe's saying that maybe he is doing the presser.
Joe, jump in on don't send us messages. Jump in on the show, man.
Yeah, say it, Joe. Say what you wrote.
No, I'm just, maybe he's doing the presser to...
Is your picture up, buddy?
No, it's not.
Joe, man, every day.
I don't think about this, and I lose my point if I do it. Anyway. He's doing it to prepare all the protesters and everything for violence, for an innocent verdict.
I can totally see that too. I can totally see that because they do.
What do you mean about that, Joe? Explain that. I think I know.
So if it is an innocent verdict, he's going to incite. Well, he's going to fire up all the protesters and everything for all of their protests that are going to happen after he's innocent.
You're going to see in these big cities.
I don't see how they can.
But there haven't been protesters anywhere on Donald Trump because
not yet.
Because the majority of Americans say that this is a sham trial.
Right.
Like by an overwhelming amount.
Yeah.
I could see protesters being out if Trump won. But
there could be protesters either way.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm thinking the inner city's loving Donald Trump these days.
Right.
And I'm thinking, and the only people who don't like Trump are Antifa. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to say this in a wrong way, but people with rainbow colored hair all the time. I mean, that's been brought up on the show.
Yeah.
I think no matter what the verdict is, there's going to be a group of people mad, and they're going to need a pep talk. They're going to need a pep talk one way or the other.
Yeah, and I could see that too. And so the rainbow, nose ring colored hair, misfits of society, along with Antifa and whoever Soros funds, that could definitely be his call to that group for sure. I could see that too. And that's sad, Joe, that we're even saying that. That's what we're saying about the president of the United States. Even if what we're saying right now, Joe, isn't even true and doesn't happen, a lot of people are thinking what you're thinking, Joe. And that's sad that we have to say that about the president of the United States would do something to harm American citizens, because those things are very harmful. At the very least, it closes businesses down for the day. So, because you see when those things are coming, people board up their businesses. I know I live in a very conservative area. And when that came to our area, people all the way down a road called Bryan boarded up their buildings and were closed for a couple days. So, I mean, it's crazy that we're even saying that, Joe.
Yeah, paid protesters. We've been talking about it for years. It's been going on for a long time. It's going to continue. It's not going to stop.
It absolutely is.
Susan said some people are just born mad. They are mentally ill.
They are mad.
Yeah, and anybody that's going to go out and do things like that and try to hurt, and we see it with these pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah protesters.
Yes,
they're all the same. They're angry and they're mean, and
they are.
And there's a way to do things, and it's look at me, I'm selfish. It's about my feelings, not yours. I don't care if I hurt you. I'm going to get what I want. I'm going to be heard, no matter what the hell's going on, because I matter more than you. Because that's what my faith tells me. I matter more than you. Kill the infidels anyway possible, whatever. We will win. We don't care about you. This is cancelthisshow.com, here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. And of course, you can catch all of our information on our website all the time at cancelthisshow.com.
Well, and Donna was saying to your point that she thought it seemed odd, because she doesn't live around here. She lives, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Donna, like in New Jersey. And she said it seemed odd to me how much chaos there was at our beach towns over this past Memorial Day weekend. Wildwood, where there was a Trump rally, called for a state of the emergency for civil unrest, a stabbing of a 15-year-old on Ocean City Boardwalk. This is all over Memorial Day weekend. So much violence everywhere, and a coincidence a few weeks after a Trump rally. Both towns are known for family-friendly vacation spots, and after the rallies and stuff now, they want to shut that place down for Memorial Day weekend because of, quote, violence. So to your point, Joe, she's telling you you're right, that these things happen. And it's because maybe it is simply because people are just angry and they don't like Donald Trump, and they can get paid to give civil unrest in places that are family-friendly vacations.
Well, we know the main name of their game is
Joe, I'd love
division.
to see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Division, division, division.
That's right. Division, division, division.
Yeah, and we've seen it happen that way for so long, so often. Just think about that. And we don't have to beat this dead horse again. The president of the United States and his team coming out saying they're going to hold a national presser as soon as, once again, this has all been connected. There's no way Donald Trump is found innocent. There's no way in hell. And if he is, and I am wrong, then they are the dumbest group of politicians I have ever seen, because then they just put everybody through this entire rat race. Everybody had the amount of money that's been spent, the amount of media coverage just to promote Donald Trump. No way in hell. No way in hell.
Or they make an already angry, violent group of people even more angry and violent.
Either way is good. And Jay saying
the good thing is if it is, it's a small little group.
And I agree with that. And they're a mighty little group that causes so much damage to, individual businesses and stuff. And Jay's he thinks that this verdict is one of those pivotal events of our lifetime.
Yeah. All I know is if it's an innocent, it only helps Trump secure the election.
Correct.
And they're not going to do that.
I don't think it hurts Trump either way.
No, it doesn't. He wins regardless.
Yeah, he wins.
He wins regardless. Glenn says, yeah, but they did the same thing with the Russian collusion, of course, and the impeachment. Yeah, of course. And all it does is it brings more people to Trump. Fox News even said this morning, there was a time, believe it or not, when all the candidates for the Republican Party started talking about who was going to run for president before the indictments, guess what? At one point in time, Ron DeSantis had a lead over Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Let's think back to that.
Correct.
When they all first came out, Ron DeSantis had a lead over Donald Trump. And then guess what? The indictments came.
That's right.
And here comes Trump. Right back up.
That's a very good point, because maybe if they didn't have this,
and by the
Ron
way,
DeSantis could have been our pick.
In the last few weeks, Ron DeSantis has raised $3 million for Donald Trump.
That's awesome.
Kudos to Ron DeSantis.
I love
That's
that.
how you do things the right way, not like Nikki Haley.
That's exactly right.
It's you show respect. And of course, we knew Ron had it in him. He was just with a bunch of bad people.
He really
had a
was.
bad team around him.
I agree. Because I would love to see him in 2028 when his time in Florida is done. I would love to see him be there next, because he was the absolute best governor during the pandemic.
And once again, that's why I don't think VP is that big of a deal, because Ron DeSantis is sitting there. I really don't, because I do feel as if Trump would, if he was gone, if he won, Ron DeSantis would be running in 2028.
Well, that would be good.
And it would make too much sense, regardless of who the VP is. We'll see how that all
I just
goes.
hope he doesn't pick a Mike Pence. I really do.
Yeah, there's no way in hell he is.
Yeah.
Or then I may have to go to the side of Robert and think that Trump's in on the fix.
It would make you wonder.
As bizarre as that is. And I love Robert, but I know Robert's not. He has not been convinced that Donald Trump is not in on some kind of fix, even though I disagree.
I don't see it. I don't see that at all. But what I do see, to his point, is he knows a lot more than we know he knows. And what I mean by that is he knows exactly where the bodies are buried, and he's yet to even deal with half of them. He didn't have enough time. So I think he knows things, but I don't think he's part of the problem. I really don't.
By the way, when it comes to Trump, did I say this yet about how great he is polling right now, Donald Trump? This is why it's like it's too big to rig, baby.
Yeah, I sure hope
the
so.
support is too big to rig. Donald Trump, according to Leading Report, is now polling better than he did in 2016 and in 2020. I mean, come on. Mm-hmm. The train is on the track.
The train is on the tracks.
The plane is flying. The Trump train is moving all along.
Mm-hmm.
People, he is polling better than he was in 2016 and 2020.
Yep, he sure
That's why I'm starting to believe that it's too big to rig. And it's not just me, and it's not just Republicans who are saying this. Donald likes that. Too big to rig. Baby.
I love it. I love it. I think it is too big to rig. That's why they're trying to find him guilty of something. They want to put him in jail. They want to do whatever, because, and that's why they are just pushing in these illegals as fast as they absolutely can. Because if it's left to just Americans, Donald Trump wins in such a landslide, like he did in 16 and 2020. But the cheating, they're getting to the point they can't cheat enough.
New reports coming out. I mean, the latest, listen, this is from Bloomberg News this morning, the Consult poll report. Trump's leading Biden in 7 key swing states: Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. Biden, by the way, won every one of those states. In quotes, allegedly won every one of those 7 states, but North Carolina in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is how big the situation is right now. And Democrats, you're starting to hear now, Democrats are privately worried. Nobody wants to say who that person is, but many strategic Democrats, when it comes to the campaigns, are already planning on a Trump victory and are figuring out how to handle the mess once it happens, how to make the presidency as difficult as it possibly can be. Nobody wants to come out and say it. Nobody wants to be that guy, that gal that says, okay, people, we're going to lose. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to figure out and come up with a different type of plan. But a Biden advisor also went to Political recently and said that donors are seriously concerned about the incumbent president's campaign against Trump. The advisor, who spoke in anonymity, said that it's, quote, much easier to show donors the weaknesses of Biden's campaign. So while they read it, I can pour a drink. The list of why we could win is so small, according to this Democratic donor and strategic person in the campaign, that it's so small, I don't even need to keep the list on my phone anymore, is what the advisor said, because they know that they don't have anything to run on. There's nothing. And now you have people saying the economy is really good. I saw one of my friends post something on Facebook. He's a hardcore Democrat, will always be, hates Trump, will not listen to truth. He's a smart guy, and guess what he is? He's an attorney. And we already know that most attorneys are liberal or
That is
Democrat
true.
for whatever reason. He was posting, yeah, people say America's in bad shape. Then why are more people spending money on spring break this year than they have in recent years if the economy's so bad? Because people put a lot on credit.
Yeah, it's all credit.
And people are looking for a good time in the midst of horrible inflation. They're looking for ways to get away from reality. That's exactly why, my friend.
They're spending more because everything costs more.
And because everything costs more.
That's
Joe,
right.
Joe, I want that.
That's such a good point.
Inflation over 20%.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And this is an attorney saying this. And I love him. And he's a smart guy. But the Trump derangement syndrome gets the best of people. It really does. And it's like a chemical that gets released in the brain that does not do good.
I agree.
Like dopamine, which goes into your brain. They don't know how to. I don't know what to do now. I'm going to lose track of reality. I don't know what to do. Trump pulling better than he did in 2016.
That's right.
And 2020, leading in 7 key states, according to the latest Bloomberg reports. And Democrats are freaking out right now. They are freaking out about what's going on.
That's right.
I guess I would be too if I was a Democrat.
Yeah, I would be freaking out if I was him, because I'd be like, oh my gosh, there's no path forward here. And so it just makes them even more angry. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not angry at Joe Biden, but I don't let it consume my every little moment. I shouldn't say Democrats, liberals let it consume their lives about Donald Trump.
Susan says people are crowding the restaurants and the highways are busy and sporting events are doing just fine.
That is true. She's absolutely right. But I agree with you. A lot of people don't have the money that they're spending on these events. There's so much credit card debt that it's just outrageous. But I think people are thinking, you know what? I'm already in debt. I already can't hardly begin to pay this mortgage off. So I'm just going to do whatever I want to do because life is short because there's Joe Biden on the horizon. So that's what people are doing. Ask people how they're paying for it. A lot of people are using credit cards.
They really are. By the way, credit card debt at an all-time high. All-time high. So, and it's only going to get more because inflation and prices are higher. Glenn adds to the comment line. By the way, you can check in on the People's Platform at any time. We try to get to your comments as much as we possibly can. In the midst of this incredible talk, my lib friend said the big crowd at the Trump Brox rally was fake. It was footage from when Obama rallied there.
Oh my gosh. That's true.
TDS.
For sure. For sure.
Well, liberals have a mental illness, according to many people on the show. And every day they keep giving me reason to believe that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go there, but I'm forced to go there, especially because people, they can't stand the fact that Trump is kicking ass. He's going to be your next president if there is an election, and they don't know what to do about it. They can't deal with the fact that Joe Biden has been the worst president in the history of the country, and they voted for him.
That's right.
And now there's people, Glenn, seriously saying that it wasn't real.
Come on. Nick.
With the Latinos and the blacks.
Stop it with that.
I mean, and the Puerto Ricans and the Cubans. I mean, everybody, even Venezuelans celebrating the Asians for Trump. They're all over the place.
That's right.
And even the trans for Trump group. They all love him. They love him. Deal with it. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. You're backing a loser. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's still shitting his pants. My God. And just wait till we show you what he did yesterday.
Yeah, unreal.
National media won't show you, but we do because we kick ass here on Cancel This. Paul says things are going to get so bad in the polls and the direction even worse than it is now because they're going to figure out somehow to delay the election like they've done in Ukraine.
And maybe that's like Brenda's saying that the Dems have something in their back pocket. And damn it, she's right. They always do. And I keep thinking about what Ukraine did.
If there's an election, there's no way in hell Trump's losing.
Correct. Unless they stop the election.
Too big to rig.
Now I think it's too big to rig.
We can talk to the other side of that. That maybe there isn't going to be an election, that we get into the Black Swan event and all that kind of thing. Too big to rig.
Yeah. And that's not out of the realm of possibility, considering Ukraine just did it. And it's a way to do that because they're going to do whatever they can. So I wouldn't be surprised that it is the Black Swan event. Would not be surprised. Here's a question I have, though. Okay, so they stop the election. Do they stop all elections? Like, do they stop all the local elections, all people running for Congress and Senate and whatever cabinets, does everything stop? I don't know the answer to that. I haven't looked into that. Does anybody else know the answer to that on the chat line? So if, like Ukraine, they stop the presidential election, does every election stop then? That's interesting to know. You don't think so? So all the rest of them still go? They just stop the presidential election?
You got local, state, national elections.
Correct.
You can't just stop one and not have all the others.
Well, so if they stop the...
I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting...
I don't know. I don't know. Like, okay, so we're not going to have a presidential election. Let's just pretend we don't.
That's interesting.
Let's pretend we don't. Then what happens to all the other elections? Could you, that is the thing that I would like to see happen. This is what it is. So if they stop the presidential election, I would like the rest to be stopped too. And hear me why I'm saying that. Then there will be a revolt, because the people that are local that have been taking, you know, like in our state, like the Ashcroft and the Kehoe and the Bill Eigel that are just like campaigning every day. But when the pandemic happened, I didn't see any of them go, oh my gosh, you know, they just talk, but they didn't start a revolution. That is the only way that I truly see some sort of a revolution. Stop all the elections then see all these people that are spending their own money to try to get elected get pissed.
Well, I don't know. When it comes to this whole, we're going to see more when it comes to the verdict in the trial, which we could have by tomorrow. Looking forward to Scott Rosenblum coming in with us tomorrow morning. At least he's scheduled to. Hopefully the schedule stays the same. But it is interesting. I saw this list come out. It was released this morning. 5 reasons why this political figure does not feel Donald Trump will be convicted. 1, because Michael Cohen is a liar and proved he was a liar on the stand. So if you can't trust the key witness, then why should you trust anything that they're saying? But once again, this is all up for the jury. And the jury has to look at evidence how the judge tells them to look at evidence. Don't forget about that. They have instructions from the judge on how to interpret each piece. So the judge is the executioner as well. And in this case, every bit of the executioner. He has no shame. And he will meet his maker someday, don't worry.
Yeah, you will.
Also, the prosecution wasn't able to explain how Trump falsified business records. There was never any of that happened. The other star witness admitted on the stand that he also stole money from Trump. That's Cohen, of course. Then the judge, Juan Merchan, had a serious problem of interest handling of certain moments, including his interactions with defense witnesses and courtroom conduct. This could complicate or delay a conviction. Think about the delay of the conviction. Keep it going on and on and on. And then it was a weak case. A weak case. Once again, if the Democrats don't convict him, boy, you guys are dumb. You are stupid, and you are more. That's right. I mean, you're going to pay the price. You will pay the price. And then we'll see if there's people storming the streets, like Joe said, I don't think that would happen. I don't think people are going to be storming the streets because of it. I just don't. But anything's possible. And then Pam says, well, I'm hoping there's a juror with a brain and morals. It's
I
not
hope
about
so too.
That it's beside that.
Yeah.
But put yourself in the situation. You have to know there's a deep state. You have to believe there's a deep state. Liberals are even saying there's a deep state.
Yeah, they are saying that now.
If you are one of these jurors and you go against what has happened, people know who you are.
Yep, they do.
And you're living your life looking behind your back the rest of your life, however long that life may be.
That's right.
And that's serious what I say, but think about that.
But you're not wrong. Think about that. That's why most people, if they were going to be for Trump, they probably weren't even going to be allowed to be on there.
I just, the whole situation is dirty. It is nasty. And of course, it gets underway more so today with the closing arguments and how all of this is going to play out.
By the end of the week, we should know, I would think.
Oh, man.
I would think by the end of this week, we should know the outcome.
I still don't see how there's any way they let Trump go and went through all of this to find an innocent guilty.
Right.
I mean, an innocent decision over guilty.
I don't know. It could go either way. But I think you're right on that. Although,
Democrats would not do that to themselves, would they?
Yeah, look what they did with Russia.
I
look at that. They were found that everything that they said was
but it was after the fact. This is a right here, right now.
That is true, because it's always after the fact.
This is a right here, right now. We're going to help Donald Trump.
Yeah,
that's how I don't see that happening.
Mm-hmm. And they don't want to help Donald Trump. That's
hell no.
Yeah. This should be Jay could be right. Then this could end up to be quite a pivotal point in our history, what the outcome is this Friday or whatever. I don't know why I think it's going to be Friday. Maybe just because it's the end of the week.
It's the Newsday dump?
I'm guessing.
I thought it would come before then. I thought we'd get it the next day or two.
I don't know. I hope you're right. I hope we do get it in the next day or two. I don't know why I'm thinking it's Friday other than the Newsday dump. I don't know. But I think by this Friday, we should know. We could know tomorrow.
Joe, I just sent you the latest comments. The thing about it is so much for the gag order that they've tried to put on Trump, because Trump has blasted what Mershana's did in his illegal activity as a judge.
He got around it.
To make sure that America knows what Mershana's done against him. Mm-hmm. And I'm grateful that we have a man who was not afraid to go to jail, who did everything he could to speak truth in this trial, showing and having evidence on his side, arriving today and slamming Mershon once again. This is what you call a hero. This is what you call a man who does not care about himself, but cares about the American people. Donald Trump he arrived for court in final arguments this morning.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. Make no mistake about it. I'm here because of crooked Joe Biden. The worst president in the history of our country is destroying our country. This country is being destroyed rapidly, not slowly, rapidly. On the borders, on energy, on inflation, on everything you can name. Afghanistan removal, everything about what he's done. He's destroying our country. And he's also destroying it with weaponization. And this is purely his weaponization. See who's in the courtroom. You go just see who's in the courtroom. You'll see. And you'll see where they come from. And if you report it accurately, a lot of people are going to be very upset. But this is all election hunting, election interfering. It's going after Joe Biden's political opponent because he can't do it himself. And they're helping out. And we have a judge who's highly conflicted. He happens to be corrupt. It's the worst confliction. It's the worst that anybody's seen. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. There can't even be the prospect of an impropriety. And it's a shame. Wall Street Journal editorial report today, Alvin Bragg hasn't proved his case in the Trump trial. The evidence shows why the charges should never have been brought. After 20 days in court and a trial transcript of 4,000 pages, the missing piece is still the missing piece. There is no crime. Wall Street Journal. Jonathan Turley, a classic closing pitch by the lawyers is to use a physical object like a three-legged stool. If any three-legged stool is missing and any leg is missing, the stool absolutely collapses. Even a cursory review of the evidence shows that this case does not have a leg to stand on. This is a case without a leg to stand on. This is Jonathan Turley. The case against Trump should end in a very strong not guilty. Not guilty. I don't know these people, but they're great legal scholars. Greg Jarrett, every defendant has the fundamental right to be informed of the nature and the cause of the accusation against him. But Bragg never abided by that constitutional guarantee. Even worse, Mershon let him get away with it. He let Bragg get away with a trial that Bragg didn't want to put. And he should have done it 7 years ago if they were going to do it. They should have brought this case 7 years ago, not in the middle of my presidential election, where I'm leading by a lot, Biden by a lot. They brought it right in the middle of the election. Hopefully it doesn't work out for them. The same way allowed the local court to be misused to enforce a federal law over which he has no authority or jurisdiction. They have a federal law which they're using, but they have absolutely no authority. And under the federal law, I did nothing wrong. Andy McCarthy, former FEC Commissioner Bradley Smith, that's the expert that they wouldn't allow me to use, the #1 in the country. FEC Commissioner Bradley Smith testimony would have established that Trump cannot have willfully violated FECA, that's Federal Election Campaign Act, because NDAs are not campaign expenditures. You know, there's nothing wrong with an NDA. They're signed all the time by many, many companies. They sign them literally on an hourly basis, because NDAs cannot have, and then it says Trump did not have a FECA legal duty with respect to them. He could not have intentionally flouted the known legal duty. In other words, he's innocent. Mark Levin, same thing. The Bragg case is about lawfare run amok against a former president running again for president. It also represents the greatest effort to interfere with and steal an election. Donald Trump did nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. This is everybody saying it. Except we have a judge who's corrupt. We have a judge who's conflicted. You know what the conflict is. So do I, but I can't say it because I'm under a gag order, which is another unconstitutional thing. You ever hear of a president, leading candidate, leading Biden, leading everybody, and have a gag order? I'm not allowed to speak. It's a first. No president has not been allowed to speak. But this is it. Read the cover today of the New York Post. Read all the stories in the New York Post. Everybody says this is crazy. This is not the trial that should happen. It's a very sad day. This is a dark day in America. We have a rigged court case that should have never been brought. And it should have been brought in another jurisdiction. As you know, we asked for that, and the judge never allows us anything. And just to end, we had an election expert who was going to say everything was perfect. Where the FEC did nothing, it was fine. And we had a lot of other people. I could give you a list of 40 people that would say the exact same thing as these people said. So thank you all very much. We'll see how it goes. This is a very dangerous day for America. It's a very sad day. Thank you.
Are you worried about it?
All right, Donald Trump speaking in regards to everything that's going on with the sham trial, the kangaroo court, everything else that we have talked about from the get-go, being strong, being bold, calling out, and also using, which has been a critical point of this whole trial when it comes to speaking to the media, using other people's words.
Yeah, so
people who we don't even know, people who nobody in his family knows, legal experts talking about the sham that is and has been.
Well, and even Donald Trump is talking about what some people in our chat line were saying, what a pivotal day this is going to be. You know, when this all comes out, Donald Trump is even saying it's a dark day. And so this is going to be a day that people are going to remember for the rest of their lives, no matter what the outcome is. This is very sad that that a judge is allowed to
actually
do this.
I don't think it's, if he's found innocent, I don't think it's a dark day.
Well, I think it's a great day.
Hell yes, after all these other dark days.
Yes, I think it's a great day. If that, it'll be a day to celebrate, but it's still dark in the fact it was even allowed to happen at all.
We've had people say this before. Jamie says, I truly believe that God has put DJT in the position and God will get him through all of the mess that's going on. Donna says freedom of speech equals gag order. Yeah, exactly. We just need one brave juror that does the right thing. However, that brave juror who does that thing will be unalived or something happen. I'm just telling you, there's no way in hell I would feel safe if I was in that juror, or if I was a jury member and I found him innocent.
But what would you do? Like if you were there and you know that you could, if you said you knew for sure he was innocent, but you knew that your life could be in peril. What would you do?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I think you're being honest about that.
I'm being honest.
I don't think
every situation, I always pray for the Holy Spirit to lead me, whatever I'm doing. And we can say this and say that. None of us know until we're in that situation.
Well, because fear is a very big component to most people's decisions. And so if I would probably not have been able to be on that jury anyway, because I would not have been able to be biased. So I would not have been sitting there. But that is what we're talking about. That is a scary thing, is that if you go in America, and maybe that's the dark part that he's talking about.
Roland calls it an instant Hillary.
You're right. I don't think you're wrong. It's an instant Hillary. If there's everybody on that trial but one votes a certain way and you don't, I think you have a heart attack in about a month.
I mean, I don't know. It is insane. We got a lot of videos to get to. Trump on Tim Pool last night. A couple things were just massive. Joe Biden lost all over the weekend again. MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene sporting her bikini. at 50. And we're going to get to a story about a Missouri state representative whose daughter and son-in-law were murdered in Haiti, missionary. It's become a huge story, not only in the state of Missouri, but across the country as well. First, we want to thank our sponsors, Complete Auto Body Care, Curtis Sparks crew and team. When it comes to your car, everything A to Z, they take care of it. They're not going to push you around. They're not going to try to get you to spend money on things you don't need. They're going to get your car in. They're going to get it out. You're going to be in the best situation possible. 314-731-7999. Once again, 314-731-7999. Tell them that you heard about them from Cancel This. They'll take care of you. It helps us. They keep track of that. And we are grateful for everything that Complete Auto Body is doing. Also, special thanks to the St. Louis Injury Council, David Gregory. If you've been in a car accident of any kind, if you've had some sort of workers' comp, if you've had what I call a conservative issue, a conservative complaint, meaning that somebody has hurt you, your family, your kids because of being conservative with your job, with school, with whatever, give them a call, 314-619-4230. Once again, 314-619-4230. You give them a call before you sign with anybody else because Dave rocks. Why do I know? Because I went there with him. He took care of me when I was in an accident. It was so good I went back again. Once again, David Gregory, that's gregoryfrommissouri.com. You can check out his state Senate site as well, gregoryfrommissouri.com. The reason he does so well, number one, he'll take your phone call. Number two, he has written a lot of the accounting laws in the state of Missouri. He's a former state rep. Yeah, he's got an accounting degree as well with his law degree. I'm telling you, the guy is a rock star. Give him a call, 314-619-4230. Also, Complete. So we got Complete Auto Body Repair, David Gregory with the St. Louis Injury Lawyers. Also, we are grateful to have WeQuip USA. Once again, WeQuip USA. Checked out the site. It's getting bigger and better. More people are putting products on there. You rent products from people in your area. There's insurance. They rent spaces. And you can also put your own products on there as well. Once again, that's WeQuip USA. And of course, our good friends at Winty's. Winty's was packed over the weekend. Again, not only their Chesterfield location, but the location in Defiance is blowing up. So they are grateful for all the support that they're getting. I was told Lizzie went and even had breakfast. Which
I did. I had breakfast on Saturday. It was really good too.
And that's even now, and they're still working out all the kinks right now as they get that to go. So special thanks to Winty's Roadhouse and, of course, Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley. Thanks again for watching us here every day, Monday through Friday. This is Cancel This. I'm Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house as well. The other things that happened interesting with Trump, before we get to his Tim Pool interview last night, did you see him? And this is what I love about Donald Trump. And I'm sorry, I'm not just, the Donald Trump, just everything he does is so great. No, because I've gotten on Donald Trump. But I love the fact that he went to the Libertarian conference this weekend. He went to try to win votes. Where was Joe Biden? He wasn't there. Damn, he was cleaning himself.
He was eating his ice cream.
Anywhere, everywhere that there are people to be talked to, Donald Trump is going. You don't see Joe Biden going to the places where Donald Trump has gone, do you? No. Where's Joe Biden in the Bronx? If the Bronx is blue, why isn't Joe Biden? Where are you? Seriously, think about that. And he didn't care. He went out there, he was booed, but then he also had this. Love it. Listen to Donald Trump from the Libertarian conference over the weekend when he's out there just trying to win their vote. He's not concerned. He's not worried. He's doing everything he possibly can.
I will also stop Joe Biden's crusade to crush crypto. We're going to stop it.
We're talking about the Trump Libertarian conference where he literally told them, if you were going to lose that's fine. 3 to 4%. If that's what he didn't care. He was getting booed, but he did not care. Here it is.
The Libertarian Party should nominate Trump for president of the United States. Whoa. That's nice.
There was a few cheers in there.
Only if you want to win. Only if you want to win. Maybe you don't want to win. Maybe you don't want to win. Thank you, D-Roy. Thank you. No, only do that if you want to win. If you want to lose, don't do that. Keep getting your 3% every 4 years.
I love that.
He's not afraid of anything or anybody.
Yes. Yes.
He knew what was going to happen, and he went there still to hear the boos and the hecklers. I even think I heard some FU Trumps in there.
Yeah, I think I did too. And I thought it was great that he won, because even if he got a small percentage of them that he won over, even some of those booing may very well even be won over in the end. But I enjoyed it. I thought he was brave for going. It was just another day for Donald Trump.
Yeah, well said. He knew what was going to happen. He did not care. And didn't the Libertarians also go after RFK Jr.?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
they shut him down.
They did. That's why I wonder, I would love to sit with a Libertarian that wouldn't vote for Donald Trump and give us their reasons why. They too have Trump derangement syndrome. You know, I have a relative that back in 2016 had Trump derangement TDS and had never voted for anyone but a Republican before and vote for the Libertarian. I'm like, you're wasting your vote. She goes, yes, but at least I can, you know, have my conscience cleared. I'm like, are you a dumbass? Like, I mean, it's like, okay, so your conscience is cleared that you don't have TDS, but you just threw your vote away. So why didn't you just stay home? Really? I mean, to vote Libertarian right now, you might as well just stay home. I get Democrats because you're completely different than Republicans, but Libertarians, they don't even know what they want in most cases.
No,
they don't even know.
The problem with the Libertarian Party is that it's like, I'm here, I'm there, and that's America. And I know it sucks because it's like, well, I don't want everything that's a Democrat, or I don't want everything that's Republican. I want to pick and choose that. But the problem is that there's not enough support there.
Correct.
We're never going to have another third or /fourth party. Not unless there's some civil war and then everything is destroyed and we start over.
I agree.
That's the only way I can see another party coming up.
And a third party would be great, but the problem is,
and the Libertarians really aren't a third. There's been a couple Libertarians who've won big positions over the last 20, 30 years.
That's right.
But nothing to really matter.
Right. So they're not really a third party.
And who are, I mean, we've even got a guy that comes in here as a co-host and claims he's a Libertarian, and we all know he's not.
He's not a Libertarian.
I mean,
he sometimes says Libertarian
and their vote never wins.
That's right.
Ever.
But you know what? When he actually goes to the polling booth, he'll be voting for Donald Trump.
Oh, hell yeah, he will.
I mean, I get it, but Libertarian just means you're wishy-washy.
Look what they did. They rejected RFK.
That's ridiculous.
They canceled him.
Well, and
they're not Chris says they're not a serious platform.
They're not a serious platform. And, you know, a lot of the reason why Libertarians are that, they're really Democrats who don't want to tell you anything about your body. And what I mean by that is Democrats are pro-choice for the most part. Republicans are pro-life for the most part. And Libertarians just say, I don't care either way. You do you, boo. That's all they are.
But Trump's making now he is on the campaign trail in a big way.
I love it.
Hey, Joe, can we play the sound that you were just playing about what Donald Trump was talking about, what he's going to do with crypto? This is fascinating to me when it comes to our money. And it's people just feel more confident about the economy because we see a man and a guy who has a plan. And whether you know much about crypto yet and everything else, just listen to what he's talking about.
I will also stop Joe Biden's crusade to crush crypto. We're going to stop it. I will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in the USA, not driven overseas. I will support the right to self-custody to the nation's 50 million crypto holders. I say this with your vote. I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin. And I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency.
I like that he clarified that. Did you hear how he clarified? Because a lot of people think
he knows how to bring
crypto is the same as digital currency. And
no,
but they're not. But you know what? A lot of Republican conservatives think they're the same thing and get all in an uproar. He just clarified that. So if you have a friend that's going nuts over crypto and other things like that, have them listen to Donald Trump. He cleared that up.
Yeah, he did. And he's very good with money. And that's why people are very confident. And it's another reason why Donald Trump is dominating Joe Biden. It's because of his ability to handle the economy. It's his ability to explain, to be able to handle several topics at the same time.
Correct. That was well done.
Another update coming out of the trial just about a minute ago. Inside the courtroom, reporter talking about how Trump's attorney Todd Blanche, and by the way, Will Scharf, Missouri's own, running for attorney general against Andrew Bailey, is with the Trump legal team today in court for the closing argument.
That's really cool.
Nice feather in the cap for Will Scharf, regardless of how people feel about that whole election coming up. We had Will on just a few weeks ago talking about things that were happening in that trial. But from the courtroom, Todd Blanche has already destroyed the case in his closing arguments, pointing out how Cohen's entire testimony can't be taken serious, how the people that Cohen had, quote, critical conversations with didn't even testify in the case because it would have destroyed the entire case against Trump. So they haven't even testified. Then he said, what are the odds we can get one juror who will do the right thing here? So interesting. We're continuing to give you guys the updates when it comes to that trial. The other positive things for Trump in the midst of all of the trial that's going on and Trump doing an amazing job defending himself and his legal team is he continues to campaign. Of course, we talked about the amazing show that we saw in the Bronx, but he's also getting out and doing what he needs to do with certain podcasts. Yeah, we'd love to interview him at some point. He was on with Tim Pool last night, and I found this interesting. The first one I'd love to start with, Joe, was the last one that I sent you. And this is regarding his idea, and it's something he has spoke about before, and we know the problem with the border, and that's why we talk about it so much, what he would do. And he's still standing by the statement about deporting as many illegals as possible. Very, very, very freaking interesting. Here he is last night with Tim Pool.
So we're going to start with that, and we have to get them out. No country can sustain what we're going through. I believe the number is 15, 16 million, could even be 17 million people right now.
Is
that's more than that's bigger than almost all of our states.
I think it's freaking out young people. How do we do it though? I mean, is it going to be new personnel?
It will really be done with local police. The respect has been taken away. The honor has been taken away from our police forces. They're not allowed to do anything. And whether it's libertarian or not libertarian, people you have to have law and order. You can't have 500 people walking into a department store and just walking out with everything they have. And we have to give honor and respect back. And I believe immunity because, so often when a police person does their job, they end up with no pension. They end up with no house. They end up with no family. Everything's taken away from them. They have to get their own lawyer. So we're going to give them back their dignity and their strength. The local police know the criminals that we're talking about. They know their first name, their middle name, and their last name. They know everything about them. And we're going to have to let them do that. And they will bring them in. We have no choice. And these are in many cases, and this is from all over the world, not just South America, which is big enough, but they're coming in from the Congo. They're coming in from all parts of Africa. They're coming in from all parts of Asia. And it's an invasion into our country. And no country can handle this. So we're going to have them taken out. Local police, we're going to work very closely with the local police. And it's been done before. We had Dwight Eisenhower, believe it or not, did the biggest deportation. He pretty much stopped it. Strange that we mentioned Eisenhower because you don't think of him that way, but he did a massive deportation where people were pouring in.
Okay, very interesting. Donald Trump standing by that. That is a massive job. I don't even know how he'd be able to do it. All I know is that everything that he said he would do, he did or attacked or tried during the last presidency that he had. That's 100% for sure. That's what separated Donald Trump from previous presidents. He actually did what he said he was going to do, and it upset the apple cart. But that wasn't the only thing that he told Tim Pool last night. We can talk about our border issues, but this is going to fire a lot of people up, and we'll see where it goes because here we go. He brought up Anthony Fauci and whether Anthony Fauci's activity was criminal or not.
Will there be accountability for the lying to Congress when you get to appoint your new AG, deputy AG?
Yeah, and we'll take a look at statute of limitations because, the statute of limitations are quite long, and we're going to be looking at that very seriously, yeah.
I got one big question for you.
How about
Will there be accountability for...
And that is about Anthony Fauci.
Mm-hmm.
It's about Anthony Fauci, and Donald Trump says he will go after him in a legal matter for what he did to Americans.
I'm glad to hear that.
Whoa.
That is so good. That is so good. Because Donald Trump, was damned if he did, damned if he didn't with Fauci. The problem that I had with him was not whether he wanted to take the jab or not, even warp speed or any of that. I didn't like any of that, and I didn't take any of that. But he kept having Fauci on. And I kept thinking, get that little troll out of there. So now Donald Trump, being this many years later too, he's like, yeah, something has got to be done with this guy. I mean, he murdered people, literally. So I was happy to see that. You know what I was happy to see too? Not that I want misery of other people, but did you notice Donald Trump was on there with Tim Pool, and they're on the set and their camera did weird stuff. Did you notice that, Pro Joe? Like when they were talking, right where Donald Trump was, their camera went up and down and around and all that kind of stuff during the interview.
Kind of like it did during ours. Yeah.
And I don't know if that was just air on the cameraman or whatever, but I thought, isn't that interesting? No matter what happens, stuff happens, even when Donald Trump is right there in Tim Pool's studio. And that happened to Tim Pool, the night before it happened
crazy.
to us.
It was the same person.
Same person.
Interesting.
What do you think, in your non-conspiratorial mind, whatever part of your mind there may be some of that there, what do you say about that, Joe?
I don't know. This is going to be, it's not going to be a professional hacker, because a professional hacker wouldn't just, make you trip and stumble. They're going to take you offline. You know what I mean?
Right. So I don't know if that's somebody internally, or maybe there's just a bad cameraman there.
Right. Well, I mean, these things do glitch. However,
do.
That was the only time that's ever happened to us.
Correct. And it was in the same time
might be the same
as Tim Pool.
Yeah, it might be the same type of cameras too. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just maybe it's a camera, the specific type.
But that was not lost on me, that there's Donald Trump with the flag. And I was really looking, because I was expecting people to also say on our chat line, did you see there was fringe on the flag? That there was fringe? So yeah. I don't know, because some people really think the fringe means, that there's something bad going on. So there you go. I don't know.
I just get it's very fascinating to me because of everything that's going on. But it was an interesting interview.
Yeah, very much so. Very, very much so. I really enjoyed seeing the interview, because he talked about some really great things there. And a lot of people have let the jabs and the pandemic and all that go by, and they don't think it's ever going to happen again. So therefore, since time has gone by, there's never going to be any consequences to Fauci. So I was glad that when Donald Trump gets back in, he is going to do something about him legally. So I'm happy about that.
Play the fringe again. What does that mean?
Well, because I mentioned the fringe on the flags.
Oh, yeah.
Because usually when there's fringe on a flag, when we show
wasn't that the Q stuff?
Yes. And that's why I brought it up, because people will have fringe, and then automatically that means, oh my gosh, something's happening. Where I don't think Tim Pool and Donald Trump having fringe on there meant really anything but a decorative flag. Just my opinion.
My opinion as well.
Yeah.
I think I have to agree with you on that.
But usually we have a comment about that.
Well, and we had so much, and we covered so much from the past 4 days, whatever, when it came to the Trump stuff, but they provided all of this information. But there was one more situation that's coming up with Trump from the weekend, is now he's also promising to deport these are foreign pro-Palestinian protesters.
Good.
Okay. I don't know what more Trump could do. He won't have enough time to do everything.
Not in 4 years,
and all the mistakes that he says have happened in the 4 years, dealing with everything else that will occur if he does win the election. And of course, as we talk about the story being, many Democrat strategists are now saying, get ready, Trump is going to win.
Yeah.
This is too big a support. He's leading, according to Bloomberg, not a right publication by any means when it comes to bringing numbers.
That's right.
Holy crap, is it getting big? They're talking about this. So all of those things will have to happen. But so Trump talking about going after Fauci, deporting illegals, and now also deporting foreigners who are in the streets causing all the problems for Jewish people when it comes to the pro-Palestinian, pro-Hezbollah, pro-Hamas riots. And they're literally riots that are going on. When you are breaking the law, it becomes a riot. Pretty simple. It's what happens. Simple. And of course, we're going to continue to bring that from where we go. Pam says Trump is going to be busy putting all of his executive decision back into place. But the thing is, once you're president, you have time to go back and then come back. It's like a great coach who was a great coach, took some time off. Then he comes back because he has a chance to see other things. He'll know. He'll be an even better president. But you know what? The job will call for it because the task, the job at hand will be that much greater. 10 times what they're dealing with right now. These are things that you have to get serious about. And why do we know that? Because, because we see what's been happening with Joe Biden. It's weekly, almost daily, the embarrassment that comes from Joe Biden, but you won't see it on national media. You only see it local. And here's the issue. Look at, he was sleeping yesterday at a Memorial Day event. The president of the United States was literally sleeping away. He fell asleep. Poor guy. Here it is. Check out the video of Joe Biden. Tell us what you think.
Rise and shine, Sleepy Joe, now's the time, don't you know, to get into a new kind of dream. You've been living alone with no bell telephone, and you don't have a shirt that is clean.
He looks like
you can rest your head on the corner of your bed. You can watch the world go by.
He's struggling.
But you're never gonna see what the other people see if you're always gonna be a Sleepy Joe. Rise and shine, Sleepy Joe. There are places to go. There are windows to clean on the way. You've got nothing to lose but a shine on your shoes. Do the best things you can every day. You can get upset at the way that people get. You can turn your back on the crowd, but you're never gonna see what is absolutely real if you're always gonna be a Sleepy Joe. La 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 la
And Lori says he's shooting himself while he's sleeping.
Hermits, according to Connie.
Sounds like it.
We don't look for things to go after people. These are what are being provided for us by
it's
Joe.
just right there.
His meds need an adjustment.
I think so.
His handlers will take care of that and make sure that everything is going according to plan somehow, some way. I don't know. It's.
I mean, when you think about that, you guys, I know you guys know this, but that's the president of the free world, or the supposed free world, napping like that. Does that say strength to you? Does that say, I am the president and I have balls and I'm going to keep you safe? No, that looks like a doddering old fool. That's embarrassing.
Doesn't look like he likes Memorial Day too much.
You're good point. He doesn't look like he likes Memorial Day. He's not a fan of the fallen. It looks like he didn't get his ice cream cone and he just wanted to go take a nap, and he doesn't care about the people who were brave so we can be free. He just got other things on his mind, like his beef stew he's going to have with his biscuit when he gets back. That's just I mean, I'm laughing, but that's our president, you guys.
As people say, that's not our president.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
We have another Biden presser moment as well. Yeah, and we saved it to the end because we want to get to all the good stuff. But here it is. Listen to Joe again. Is.
The same way, I might add, in the 2020 election, President Trump voted from behind the desk in the White House in Florida.
I know the fuck he did not just say the White House in Florida.
Yeah.
What White House in Florida? Sir, do you not know where the fuck you live? Because you currently reside in said White House, but it's not in Florida. You can't make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. Anybody that defends this man is not seeing these fucking videos. Because we're not exaggerating. He is not all there mentally. He's not.
He's not.
How the fuck is he running this country?
He's not.
Clearly, it's not him running it. But whoever is pulling his strings need to write his speeches a little bit fucking better. But I guess let me know if y'all find that White House in Florida, and we'll go visit the motherfucker.
I thought it was funny as hell, which is why I had to play that.
That's good. That's good. And there's so many of these all over the internet as people going, Joe, you can't make this up. Oh my gosh. You know, people are just flabbergasted at him. And you know, not all of these people voted for him in 2016. They might have in 2020, but now they're, you know, 8 years later, they're like,
no, they
what
know.
the hell?
No, they see everything that's going on. From the chat line, I think Trump's big thing is that he needs to stop supporting Israel and get Jewish investor elite money out of his campaign. It's supposed to be America first, and Israel has no place being in American politics. They deserve not one penny. That's a take that we haven't heard much, but all takes are welcome.
Yeah, all takes
and we
are
break
welcome.
them down.
Yep.
Gary says Jake Sullivan and Hussein run the show. Hussein being Obama, of course.
I don't know, but that person that you just repeated, their handle is Siafalkalanja. So I'm not sure that's the right person.
That sounded like one of Biden's press conference.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So that was a Biden supporter. But thank God there's Biden supporters that every once in a while comes on here. I enjoy it.
They're on Twitch. It's not surprising.
Okay, they're on Twitch. Yeah. I didn't recognize that thing. Okay, so Twitch. I would like more people that disagree with us to come on Twitch and defend it. So that was an interesting take that I've never heard. Stop taking your Jewish money because make America first. But that really didn't make much sense.
Well, it's 2024. We have platforms everywhere for people. Everybody's going to have their own ideas, their own opinions on things.
That's right. And I like hearing even opinions when often their opinions are wrong. Like Coflangia or whatever his name was.
Oh my God, that's the best. The show, cancelthisshow.com here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central and all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. News, headlines, politics, interviews from all over the country, cancel culture stories, and of course our Free for All Friday shows where we also speculate on things that are going to happen, what could happen, all kinds of things that are going on. Okay. I found this was interesting too. I mean, there's just nothing going on with Joe. We already talked about him earlier, what he may be doing. Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's fine. Be who you want to be. But when you're in politics, do you need to be doing this? I don't listen. I'm not, if you're Mark McCloskey and you're trying to gain fame off of the incident that happened to you at your home, when protesters illegally came down your street, I'll give you that. And then you start showing pics of you just in shorts and flexing.
Right.
You can do that. That's you. Everybody knows that's your shtick.
That's right.
He doesn't actually have a real office. He's an attorney.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Marjorie Taylor Greene has an office. She has a voice. She has a platform, whether you like her or not.
Right.
I don't know. I'll be curious at what people think. I want to get your opinion. But here's Marjorie Taylor Greene. It was her 50th birthday yesterday, and she is posting a picture of herself in her bikini, not with family or anything, just her. It's about her. Hey, and you know what? She looks great for 50.
Oh my gosh, she looks damn good.
So
she looks fantastic.
And that picture and how it's posted and pasted and presented, she looks great.
She looks
for
fantastic.
50.
Yeah, for any age, she looks great for any age. There
is it wrong of me to go, I wish she wouldn't have done that.
I guess I'm with you on that one. I think she looks great. Don't get me wrong. And I think that and I know why she did it, because somebody called her a big broad butch or something.
Oh, well, St. Louis's own Jasmine Crockett.
Bush.
No, it was Jasmine Crockett.
That's right. Okay.
Because they got
Jasmine Crockett. I forgot about that. Oh yeah. With the eyelashes. And so Marjorie Taylor Greene made fun of her eyelashes.
You know what?
That's what this is.
Okay. You know what? But I didn't see her put that on the post.
But that is what that's in response to.
Then 100%. I have
100%.
No issue with her doing.
Yeah, that's me too. If she looks great, and there's no problem doing that. If she put this on her personal page, no problem doing it. If she put it on her actual political page, I normally would say that we need to go back to, looking professional and maybe wearing a suit or whatever. But I think she looks so great. And I think she's probably worked very hard to look like that.
You do. Yeah. It doesn't just happen.
Yes. And she looks great. And somebody called her a butch, which means you're kind of a stocky, ugly man looking lady. So I think she wanted to prove to herself as much as anyone else that I do not look butch. I am very feminine and I can wear a bikini like an 18-year-old. That's what that was about. She didn't, I don't know whether she said that or not, but that's what, and it's response to. And because she went there with the eyelashes and because whatever her name is, Crockett or whatever, went there with the butch, that's the part I don't like, is that, you know, they got physical talking about each other. And that just made women kind of look stupid, because you don't typically see men in politics going, well, Vic, you know, your eyelashes look dumb and you kind of look like a feminist or whatever.
Well, it all started because of Marjorie Taylor Greene saying they needed to look at Judge Merchan. Then
correct.
To the committee. It had nothing to do with Jasmine Crockett, who then attacked Marjorie Taylor Greene. But you need to figure out where you are.
Yeah.
Remember where you are in her me, like Jasmine Crockett can do. And I'm sorry, I don't care if she's from St. Louis or not. We're going to call things out.
Yeah. Was it
Jasmine Crockett started a fight with Marjorie Taylor Greene? She went after her.
Aren't these
then Marjorie Taylor Greene went back at her and said, well, I don't think she knows. I don't think you know where you are through those thick eyelashes. Fake, of course.
Aren't these the same people who get mad if you miscall their pronouns?
Yes, that group would be.
But then they're going to make fun of other people by calling them a bleach blonde bad butch body.
That's right. I mean that. Okay, say that again, Joe. Say that again.
Bleach blonde bad butch body.
Okay, that's politics today. And we shouldn't be there. We shouldn't be there. We should be getting back to humility and decorum. I'm not saying that you can't be strong like Donald Trump is or some of the other people. And sometimes you have to say things to prove a point. But when you're now doing all of this stuff, we need to go back to that instead of like showing yourself. Now, I really would have thought it was totally fine if she was there with a bunch of girlfriends or, you know, family members or whatever. But the fact she was by herself, she was absolutely proving a point. Now, I don't blame her after be calling a bleach, blonde, butch, whatever, and she isn't. So she wanted to prove that she wasn't.
Yeah.
I get that. I just wish that we weren't at that point. I wish that we didn't have to see this stuff. But that being said, that's social media today. I mean, look at TikToks, and no matter whether you're a politician or whatever, it's gone. The pendulum has gone so far. You know, I saw, you know, even a local politician, you know, bragging about his tattoo on his arm. And I wanted to go, not that this was about the tattoo. It was like, okay.
What?
Yeah. I thought it was really tacky. Not because they have a tattoo. I don't think that's the problem. It's just that, look at my tattoo. Look at me. It's like, stop that. Let's talk about what policy that you did. Now, if you're not in politics, show your tattoo all you want. But if you're working for us, stop that.
I'm going to look so much better when I get my right sleeve.
Well, then you do that. Then you go, maybe you'll prove me wrong. Then that you're going to go, look at my tattoo.
Right there, Joe.
That's it.
And the
I'm
tattoo,
contacting Dave today.
We're going to get that right sleeve.
There you go. Well,
right
the tattoo
there.
I saw, it looked great. It wasn't an ugly tattoo, but it's like, why? Why are we talking about this? Why can't we just talk about, this is what we're going to do. We're going to save our country. But to me, this is all distractions when you're a politician and that's what you're putting on your politician page. I mean, just stop it already. Just stop it. But I'm with you, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You do not look like a blonde butch body.
No, not at all.
Whatever. You're a very attractive person. Now, the next pictures, go back to your suit.
Jasmine Crockett, you're on the clock. Where's your bikini picture?
Yeah.
Jasmine Crockett, you're on the clock.
Yeah. And she's not, you know what she should do if we're going to play this game?
TikTok, you're on the clock.
Get her eyelashes. She has to get her eyelashes out there looking at us. Not her body. Her body wasn't made fun of. It was her eyelashes. So she should do an eyelash TikTok and start making some money for her eyelashes.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay, you won me over. Now I'm all for MTG doing this.
Only because of that. That is just a woman's ego. You called me a butch and you said I had bleach blonde hair. So I'm going to put a hat on my head that doesn't even show my bleach blonde hair. And I'm going to show you what I'm 50 years old and I am just good looking.
She did nothing wrong by bringing up Judge Merchan in that conference last week. it was a House Oversight.
Correct.
She did nothing wrong. She was attacked verbally by Jasmine Crockett. That's a fact. It was. We showed you the sound. Then she decided to play, and then she attacked back about eyelashes.
Yeah.
And then AOC strike, and then of course MTG decided to.
Well, there she is on our screen again. I'm sorry, but she's 50 years old, and she's absolutely gorgeous in this picture. And it's not just because she's 50. That's gorgeous for somebody that's 20. So, and that part, good for you, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Good for you. Now put your clothes back on when you're going to talk about politics. That's my only thing, just because we're lacking decorum. But I don't know that I blame her this time, because it's been all over the internet that she looks butch. And I think if anything, she wanted to show people I'm not butch. I don't think she cares about her blonde hair too much, because, you know, I think it's that she worked hard for that body, people. You see, because you see videos of her too, working out, like that she works out a lot.
Yeah. Megan says, by the way, I don't know how anybody could stay quiet in the Jerry Springer Congress, which we have.
That's probably true too. Because I know I couldn't if I was up there.
Strike that from the record. I'm AOC. Strike that comment about her eyelashes from the record.
I couldn't be in Congress, because I probably would have been one of them and went there. Not necessarily about their looks. I wouldn't have gone by.
Oh, you would have went there.
Maybe not about looks, but I would have said, sit your ass down. You're opening your mouth and everybody now knows you're stupid. Sit down. That's what I would say.
Glenn says she's a workout freak.
She is a workout freak. And it shows. She's beautiful. She really is. So good for you, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, no, I've seen her doing some power.
I have too. And she can like bench press most men.
Definitely looks like she's eating all the right things. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, and she's not, what I like to see about her, she's not even, and supposedly, I'm going to say this because somebody said on the chat line, those boobs are hers too. Just in case you want to know about that. She doesn't have a boob job, according to herself. So that's even more impressive too, because by the time you're 50, a lot of people think they have to have a boob job. And if you look like Marjorie Taylor Greene, you don't. And if you notice, she also doesn't look like a toothpick. She just looks great, period.
Strong.
Great. Yes.
Strong. By the way, here at Cancel This, giving you updates. We appreciate people jumping in. Les says, by the way, you guys were talking about the Trump closing statements that began today.
We sure were.
Had you the sound talked to you about the sound that was going on with Trump today, continuing to say what's going on, all the corruption that's going on, not only with witnesses, but the judge and what he has been allowing to go on. Also about Joe Biden's camp coming out now and saying they're going to make a national statement, have a national presser when the verdict is released. But this isn't election interference. We're going to tell the American public that they should respect the verdict, whatever it may be. Okay. Thanks, but you're not involved in this. You haven't done any of this. And of course, Trump today coming out and saying that Joe Biden is behind every bit of this election interference that's going on with this case in New York, and the judge, of course, with Judge Juan Merchan and his daughter making a whole bunch of money for Democratic causes because of it.
I like his name, but I don't like him.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I would say. That's why I couldn't be working with these people. I'd say Juan Merchan or whatever your name is a cool name, but you're a fool. Yeah. That's what I would say.
Robert De Niro at the Trump trial with two of the Capitol Police that testified to the January 6th committee. That, according to Les, of course, trying to get some publicity, trying to go after it, because I'm telling you right now, the people who hate Trump hate what's going on. They despise it. And that's what we spent a good portion of our first hour talking about.
Yeah.
They can't stand it. It's killing them. It's literally the DTS getting the best of them, the Trump derangement syndrome.
That's right.
Is that why
TDS?
Is that why Trump made a point to say something about, I know you can't see me.
No, that too.
About who's going to be in the courtroom and to pay attention to who's in the courtroom?
Yeah,
is that Robert De Niro's there?
Yeah, that's exactly what he was referring to.
Okay, I was wondering.
When I saw that come out on the comment line, I'm like, you know what? That's exactly what Trump was talking about.
And you know what? That kind of makes me mad. I can't hardly look at Robert De Niro anymore. I used to really like him, but he has such TDS that with him being in that courtroom, you are not only being a jerk to Donald Trump, you're being a jerk to Americans that just want to get back to making America a great place to live. And so sit down, De Niro. You are so deranged.
Yeah, but people who are like that, Hollywood elites, they
Yeah.
want attention.
They do want it. That's all for attention.
And
That's
people,
right. That's
people who are actors need an audience. Without an audience, he is nothing.
Good point.
So
Good point.
this actor needs an audience. So he's creating a script so that he can make himself feel better.
Good point.
You know, he's a little man, and he's you know, the old Napoleon syndrome. That's De Niro. He's a little guy. He wants to act tough. A lot of times you'll see that, you know, the bark is bigger than his bite.
That's right.
He's a little guy.
He is a little guy.
He's always been a little guy inside and out, and he has to make himself feel more important.
He's a chihuahua.
People, people who are confident in themselves are most of the time are kind, sweet people, because they don't need all the bullshit. They don't have to go and act tough and look at me and I'm going to say this. I'm like, ugh, he's filth.
He is filth.
He's always been filthy as filth. I mean, you know what? He can do whatever he wants to do.
With that being said, everybody get prepared for the Robert De Niro bites that you're going to hear tomorrow.
You're
because he's going to be all over.
Proving Vic's point that he's doing that to make himself relevant, and he needs an audience, and he's got to have attention. He's not unlike that Kathy Griffin gal that did that stuff with Trump's head. You're right. I think they really do have TDS, but then you're using it to have relevance. And Joe, we're going to see all kinds of De Niro sound bites tomorrow. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And Jeannie was saying, why is he there?
Maybe he's making because
he
wants
you answered
attention.
that question.
Yeah.
He just,
because an actor needs an audience.
That's right. And Jeannie says he's a wiener dog, not a chihuahua. He's got a little bit, he doesn't have a ballpark Frank. He's got an Aldi's hot dog.
He doesn't have one. He is one.
That's right. That's right.
Jay says he'll be on The View again. Michelle says, what the hell did he say? He hasn't said anything yet. Kimberly says he's got little man syndrome. A couple people said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Short
once
man
again,
syndrome, little man syndrome.
When you know, when you've been told your whole life that you're cool and you're important, then you just want to go out and you want to make statements. And if Robert De Niro had half a brain, he would look at the evidence and go, oh, crap, I should stay far away from that.
That's right.
There is no evidence.
That's right. But he'll be on The View again, Jay says, and he's doing it all for relevance. You know, I mean, he will. He'll be there talking to, you know, Bahar and Whoopi. And
I love this. Jeannie says, guys, in all honesty, my adult kids don't even know who the hell he is. He's fading, and he's fading fast.
Oh, that's a really good point. My younger kids probably don't know him either. My older kids do, but my younger ones, probably my 15-year-old doesn't even know who he is.
Well, and I love the terminology that Megan put forward. He's thirsty.
He is thirsty.
He's thirsty for attention.
Thirsty.
He needs some help. He needs to have some sort of positivity going on in his life, because right now he doesn't have any.
You know, I saw him one day. We were in LA and we were taking one of those bus tours. And this was just maybe, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago. And he lives in this house, and he was sitting on his front porch, and he did look like a little bitty guy drinking his coffee on his front porch. And his house really wasn't that great. So he's not that great, and he didn't have that great of a house. And he probably spent $7 million for that dumb house.
Yeah.
Seriously. So I remember seeing, and I was like, that's him. He's tiny with an ugly house.
It's just, people stop trying to like make yourself bigger, make yourself like more important than what you really are. There's really no need. Why?
Yeah.
Just go be your actor. Just go over there, be your actor. Have fun over there.
Well, you guys are right. De Niro is a has-been, and he needs attention. And like you were saying, Vic, most celebrities have a very overinflated view of their self-importance.
Oh, they do.
So there you go.
There's really no need for it. It's frustrating to see those things that happen. Trish says De Niro is a has-been. That's why he needs attention. I can't disagree with that.
I can't either.
I mean, why else would he show up?
Yeah.
You know,
there's no point. I get like Eric Schmidt. He is one of our senators here in Missouri, and was it last week or the week before? He was there showing support. So I get somebody representing an area being there for Donald Trump, or not being there. If you have TDS and you are a politician and you want to go there because you think that you're representing your people, that I get. But an actor just being there, I don't get that at all. Not at all.
What do you care about that, Joe?
I have no idea why he's there.
Yeah, I don't either. And he's, I don't know. It is like Donna's saying, it's so junior high that he's there. But how he acts is so junior high now too.
They won't allow people to come support Trump. However, they're going to bring people who have nothing to do with anything.
Nothing to do with anything.
Just so they're showing face.
That's right.
He has to know that it just makes me think about how the fix is in. Why else would De Niro show up?
I agree with you on that.
Why else would the Biden campaign come out now?
To introduce himself as a mouthpiece for the whole situation.
That could be. Maybe he doesn't know, and he would just be loud and going, "This is not right. America's a travesty that Donald Trump got out by this." He probably doesn't care either way. And yeah, and it's the real question, according to Paul, is what happens to all of these people with TRS when he goes away? Their heads will explode. I'm assuming he means TDS.
Yeah, Trump derangement syndrome. Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
Hey guys, before we get out of here today, a couple things that I wanted to get to too. It's just sad because we know that crime happens anywhere and everywhere, and when you don't have deterrence, these are the kind of things that happen. But over the weekend, a former General Hospital star, who some people probably remember, his name was Johnny Wachter.
Yeah.
He was shot and killed in downtown LA in a car robbery. Yeah, just think, once again, this kind of stuff can happen to anybody at any time.
So sad.
Just 37 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, literally just trying to car robbery, just trying to get in his car. Somebody,
And where was that at again?
Downtown LA.
Of course.
Downtown LA. Literally at Hope Street and Pico Boulevard.
Wow.
He had several gunshot wounds. 3 suspects were, they were stealing his catalytic converter when he walked up. One of them drew a gun and shot him.
That's so sad. And it was like such a random thing. I don't think it's like somebody that he knew either.
No. They wanted a catalytic converter. He just happened to walk up to the car while it was going on, which makes you wonder, how do you handle a situation like that? Do you not walk up to your car if you see something happening?
That would probably be the smart thing to do, is to walk away and go, call the cops or something.
Yeah, just walk away.
Instead of confronting the people doing it.
Yeah, don't ever confront the person, even if you're a badass with a gun yourself. That catalytic converter,
or maybe he walked up to and didn't see him.
That could be. Just walked up to him and opened his car door.
Because the report said that and I did see this, and I thank you for bringing that up too, from the chat line, Jay, that allegedly he protected the woman who he was with.
Oh, makes sense.
So, I mean, if people are stealing a catalytic converter, maybe there's one guy standing up and there's 2 underneath.
That's right. That's right. He covered somebody's body. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So sad.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. Les gives us another update. He said the tattooed cop is talking all kinds of BS right now. I don't know why that cop is talking what he's talking.
Yeah.
Or if it's to the cameras or whatever. But I just wanted to bring thoughts and prayers for Johnny Wachtel's family.
Yeah. So sad.
Once again, downtown LA. And then I'd be curious to see who these people are, what kind of I don't know what kind of rap sheets they have. Should they have already been in prison? These are things that are serious topics.
Yeah.
So sad for him. And then unfortunately, I mean, we've had a great show. We've talked a lot of positive things. We've talked a lot of Trump things. Last Thursday, you had a Missouri State Representative's daughter and son-in-law who were literally captured, taken hostage, and murdered in Haiti. You know the story, you have the pictures, and you want to talk about that, Lucy.
Yeah, if you want to put them up right here. This is the couple, and it really is so tragic. And so this is Davy and Natalie, and their dad is Missouri Step Ben Baker from Neosho. Yeah, Missouri State Rep from Ben Baker from Neosho. And Davy here, his parents have been missionaries in Haiti all of his life. And so when Natalie married him, they went, I don't know if they're directly alongside Davy's parents, but they were attacked and killed, leaving actually like a little church service there along with a Christian mission group last Thursday. the actual leader of the mission group was killed as well. And it was a gang came and killed them. And Jude Montes is the local director of the local mission group. And here's her Facebook page for anybody that is looking. That is actually her page. So she was living her life. And it says, I want to live intentionally in light of eternity. And then Davy Lloyd is her husband, and her heart is in Missouri, but she felt like God led her to help people in Haiti. So,
this story just tears me up.
It does tear me up too. It's so sad. And I've heard a lot of people say they shouldn't have been there because it's not safe there. But I think that this couple really believed that they lived for eternity, and they were called to work with the missionary group in Haiti. And so Donald Trump, what was really great was Donald Trump, not Joe Biden, called Ben Baker over the weekend and talked to him for 6 minutes. And Ben Baker said that made him feel so good because Donald Trump sent his condolences, even talked about what a nice looking couple that is. And basically when the trial was over, he was going to do everything in his power to find restitution for this couple. And so I just thought that was great. If nothing happens that Donald Trump can do, he called. And that made Ben Baker, who is a conservative Missouri Republican from Neosho, feel better that his president cared, because that's how he sees that president. So our condolences go to Ben Brown, or I'm not Ben Brown, that is also, he's a senator, but Ben Baker, he also used to be the mayor of Neosho. So our prayers go out to him and his family, because when you are a Christ follower, you go where you feel you are led. I would have wanted to discourage my children from going over there to do that, because that's not a safe area. There's gangs all over the place. But that being said, they died doing Christ's work. And so my heart goes out to them.
No, I know it pisses me off. Here's
too.
the thing. You have to pray for God's will if you're going to be a missionary.
You do.
I'll tell you right now, and I told you before, if you go to some of these regions across the world, and obviously, I mean, they're doing God's work.
Yes.
Yet they're murdered.
Yes, they were
doing
murdered.
God's work, and God knows what happened to them.
Yeah.
Do we know more about why they were murdered in the middle of what was going on in Haiti?
Yeah, they haven't really said. They were with the director of this organization, and a gang came and got them. There's really it's only speculation now. The family's just very excited that the bodies have been recovered. And so now they're going through whatever.
I mean, just think about what you just said. You're excited that the body of your loved one has at least been found. My God, I can't even
That's right.
comprehend.
Yes. And it's going to take through red tape and America cooperating with Haiti to get the bodies back and all that. But like you said, that got me right in the gut that, on Thursday, they were all upset. And I believe it was Saturday, they found out that they had retrieved the body. But what they're saying, all they know for now is it was gang violence, that it was a Haitian gang that did that.
Chris says, honestly, right now, why someone is going there without military security has to rethink their decision.
Correct.
I understand being led by their faith, but even God had his archangels.
Right. And even God has a way to talk about discernment. So, I mean, because in the end,
if you go to the Middle East and start preaching Jesus, you're going to die.
That's right.
That maybe they knew this when they went there,
that's right.
Mom, Dad, there's a chance we could die, but we feel like we're doing God's work.
That's right. That's right. And you would have to go there and feel like that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I did know about Kyle McClellan from the chat line. Former Cardinals pitcher Kyle McClellan has an organization that goes there all the time.
That's right. And most people are safe, but this was a situation that they were not safe. And like you said, it was 3 days ago that it was a huge answer to prayer for them to have the body retrieved. But when you looked at his Facebook page, Ben Baker's.
Can we see their pictures again, Joe?
Yeah, if you could show it again. Literally what his dad or her dad said is, my heart is broken in 1,000 pieces. I've never felt this kind of pain. Most of you know my daughter and son-in-law, Davy and Natalie Lloyd, are full-time missionaries in Haiti. They were attacked by gangs, gangs, plural, this evening and were both killed, and they went to heaven together. Please pray for my family. So that's really all they know. They do know that the bodies have been secured and it's been secured to get them home. But at this point, they're not in transit at this point, as far as I know.
Megan says they were literally putting their safety on the line for the sake
Yes.
of those children.
Yes.
Jeannie, I know a few people that have done mission work. It's scary for sure.
Yes.
Dave says missions have sent missionaries to every corner of the world since Christ commissioned his
Correct.
disciples, of course. Yeah, they're all, and this came down Thursday,
That's
or Thursday
right.
night, or heading into the holiday weekend.
Mhm.
And the story, not only has it become a big story in the state of Missouri, but nationally as well.
Yes.
You just heard Lizzie talking about Donald Trump even giving Representative Baker a call with
Correct.
well wishes and prayers and the best, just to take the time in the middle of a very busy time for him.
That's right.
With court and trying to campaign at the same point in time.
And he said, I mean, he was even accurate about how long he was on the phone with him, for 6 minutes. And he felt like he was very down to earth and appreciated that phone call so much. So if anybody that knows anybody about the Baker family and Ben Baker too, apparently he's the real deal, a wonderful human being. People in Neosho thought he was a wonderful mayor. People that work alongside him, including my son-in-law, said he is absolutely a wonderful legislator and a very good conservative, God-fearing, patriot American. So whether we agree or not that his daughter went there, that dad, who is an America First MAGA patriot, his heart is broken. Sometimes, I wouldn't want my daughter to go there either, but sometimes our kids do what we don't want them to do, and our heart doesn't hurt any less if we agree or we don't agree with their decisions.
Yeah, I mean, well said. It is what it is. We do what we can do. And this isn't the first couple or people who have died doing God's work. And
Yes.
I hate to say it, it won't be the last.
Well, and like Terry's saying, honestly, look at, we just right before this, forgive me what his name is, but it was the soap opera star. What you said his name was. Terry saying, honestly, you could go to preach on our own streets and get killed, and think of all the lives.
Yeah, you
here.
could, but it's different. You could, you're right, but this is different. And it's a matter of when you're confronted, not if.
That's true. And like David saying, we had a pastor who went to North City in St. Louis and was threatened by an older man from the area, and they ushered him off the street. So, yeah, I mean, it can happen anywhere. But the biggest thing is I think the biggest takeaway is you have to live the way God wants you to do, according to her. And now they do know they're in eternity. She even put that on Facebook. That's why I showed that picture.
Yeah.
That's how she lived. And I thought that was a beautiful thing. And that this family lives for serving others. Even Ben Baker lives for serving others. And that's just very huge. And it also, again, shows the integrity of Donald Trump. And
Gary says, by the way, Shelley, I'm assuming Shelley's his wife, fears going back to Jamaica, so we don't, because of reasons like this at the same time.
Correct. Yes. You have to also look at who's in the office too, because if you get stranded somewhere else, do you think really Joe Biden's going to get you from, let's say Israel, if you're captured? No, I don't think he is. So you have to have somebody like Donald Trump with big cojones, that you're there doing what you think you need to do, but you're still an American citizen. What I liked about Donald Trump is in no way did he chastise that family for having their daughter over in Haiti. He just gave his condolences and offered his help. And I think that's the most conducive thing, because the damage is already done, whether we agree or we don't agree with them doing that. I can't say much, because there were times that we probably put ourselves on the line. We have 2 little girls from China and spent very substantial time in China. And I could go on and tell you stories that we were put at risk, but I felt God led me to go get my 2 little girls, who are now 21 and 24. And if I had died doing that, I would have done it anyway, because that's what I was led to do. So I do understand what they're saying. So
yeah, and we're going to get out of the show today on that. By the way, we'll have more tomorrow. You'll see it. Yeah, here's what they did. I'm sorry, I don't know. The Democrats did this. They brought out Robert De Niro to do press conferences today at the Trump trial.
Unbelievable.
With 2 January 6th police that apparently.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
You can't make that up.
No, you
Vic.
can't. The scripts, it is what it is. It's Robert looking for attention.
Yeah, it is.
He's got an axe to grind, and It's too bad, but whatever. It is what it is. This is cancelthisshow.com. We continue to rock here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. All the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. We'll see. It's going to be the big story all day, the Trump trial. You're going to see it unless some other things happen. And then we'll get more into those quotes and comments. And then tomorrow, right out of the gate, 8 o'clock, scheduled to have arguably one of the best defense attorneys in America, especially when it comes to trials, Scott Rosenblum, on with us to talk about what's happening in that situation. I love Scott because he's honest, and he has talked about how he's not a Trump fan, but what has been done to him has been absolutely insane. So anyway, at least from his legal perspective, we love you guys. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. This is what we affectionately call the fastest 2 hours of podcasting: news, headlines, politics, water cooler talk, interviews, cancel culture education, and of course the speculatory free for all Fridays. For Pro Joe and Lizzie Sparks, I'm Vic Faust. Guys, have an awesome day. We will catch up with you next time for Cancel This.